In the heart of Jerusalem's Old City stands a monument of profound significance, a site that echoes with millennia of prayer and history, the Western Wall, or the Kotel, for countless people. It is the most sacred, accessible site in Judaism, a place of pilgrimage, reflection, and deep spiritual connection. But how did this single wall come to hold such immense importance? To understand its story, we must travel back over 2,000 years. The story begins with King Solomon, who, around the 10th century BCE, constructed the first temple in Jerusalem on a site known as the Temple Mount. This magnificent structure became the central point of Jewish worship, housing the Ark of the Covenant and serving as the dwelling place for the divine presence on earth. For nearly 400 years, it stood as the heart of the Israelite nation. However, in 586 BCE, the Babylonian Empire, led by King Nebuchadnezzar II, conquered Jerusalem, destroyed the temple, and exiled the Jewish people. This was a catastrophic event, a moment of profound loss and displacement. Decades later, after the Persian Empire conquered Babylon, the Jews were permitted to return to their homeland. Under the leadership of Zerubbabel, they began the arduous task of rebuilding. Around 516 BCE, the Second Temple was completed. While perhaps not as opulent as Solomon's original, it restored the central place of worship for the Jewish people and stood for centuries. The true transformation of the Temple Mount came during the reign of Herod the Great, in the 1st century BCE, known for his ambitious and often grandiose building projects. Herod undertook a massive renovation and expansion of the Second Temple and its surrounding platform. He aimed to create one of the most spectacular architectural wonders of the ancient world. To do this, he needed to expand the flat area of the Temple Mount. His engineers constructed 4 immense retaining walls around Mount Moriah, filling the space behind them with earth and stone to create the vast level plaza on which the temple stood. The Western Wall we see today is a surviving segment of the westernmost of these 4 retaining walls. It wasn't a wall of the temple itself, but part of the foundation that supported the entire complex. Herod's temple was renowned for its splendor, a focal point of religious and social life, but its glory was to be short-lived. In the year 70 CE, after a grueling Jewish revolt against Roman rule, the Roman legions, under the command of Titus, besieged and conquered Jerusalem. They systematically dismantled the city and, in a devastating act of destruction, burned the Second Temple to the ground. The Romans left almost nothing standing, a deliberate act to crush the spirit of the Jewish people. However, portions of the outer retaining walls, including the section we now call the Western Wall, remained. The Roman historian Josephus noted that these walls were left to show the might of the Roman army that had conquered such a well-fortified city. In the centuries that followed, the Jewish people were largely barred from Jerusalem. Yet, the memory of the temple and the yearning to return never faded. The remaining Western Wall became the closest physical point to the site of the Holy of Holies, the innermost sanctuary of the temple. It evolved from a mere remnant of a support structure into the ultimate symbol of an unbreakable covenant and national endurance. It was a tangible link to a glorious past and a beacon of hope for a future redemption. Over time, it became known as the Wailing Wall, a name given by non-Jewish observers who witnessed the fervent and often tearful prayers of Jews lamenting the temple's destruction. For centuries, through Ottoman rule and the British Mandate, Jews would gather here whenever possible, tucking handwritten notes and prayers into the cracks between its ancient stones, a tradition that continues to this day. Following the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, the old city of Jerusalem came under Jordanian control, and for 19 years, Jews were denied access to the wall. This period of separation only intensified its significance. Then, during the Six-Day War in 1967, Israeli forces captured the old city. The image of paratroopers standing before the wall, weeping with emotion, became one of the most iconic moments in modern Israeli history. The reunification of Jerusalem and the renewed access to the Kotel was a moment of immense historical and emotional weight. Today, the Western Wall Plaza is a vibrant open-air synagogue, a place where people from all corners of the globe come to pray, to celebrate, and to connect with a history that spans millennia. Each massive stone tells a story of kings and empires, of destruction and perseverance, of exile and return. It stands not just as a relic of the past, but as a living testament to faith, memory, and the enduring power of hope.